Welcome back to Unmasked, the podcast that uncovers the thoughts, feelings, and voices of the BU community. I'm Lazowski.
And I'm Veronica Thompson. Every week, we go out and ask our peers a random, intriguing question and allow them to share their thoughts anonymously.
Our goal is to illuminate the wide variety of personalities and experiences within the student body. Thank you for joining us today.
Now let's turn it over to our field reporting segment and see what people had to say for this week's question. We are at GSU today, and we're asking students a specific question. What's the question, Adam?
Today, we're asking students, what is one of the most interesting or crazy dreams that they've ever had?
Let's go. What is an interesting dream you've had?
So when I was little, I had this reoccurring dream that Santa would chase me down a bridge, and as I was running, like the planks of the bridge kept falling out, and then I fell through and a bunch of sharks just ate me, and Santa laughed at me. So I didn't like Christmas.
How did he laugh? It was like, ho, ho, ho.
No, it was evil.
When I was 6 or something, I had a dream. Do you guys remember Zaboomafoo, that show? I had this dream that I was there, and then the Kratt brothers got eaten by gorillas or something, or they're in gorilla suits or something, and they were chasing me around. And so so maybe I was younger. So maybe I was 5 or something. So from 5 to 9, I had this crazy fear of gorillas because I thought they ate the Kratt brothers. And then I couldn't, and so we had this puzzle in the basement, and it was an alphabet puzzle, and G was for gorilla, and we had to keep it locked away because I would cry. So that's my crazy dream from over a decade ago. Thank you.
I had a dream that I got kicked out of IHOP once. Yeah, it was I was just chilling there, and they were yeah, and then I just was I'm sorry, and then I just walked out. But I just took it. I just walked out without fighting it. And when I woke up, I was why did I just let them kick me out? I should have stood up for myself.
A dream that I had in the past year. This is one of my more recent ones, where I was this small. Basically, all my dreams usually take place in more of a third person perspective. There's some aspect of first person, but a lot of it is me seeing myself from an outside view, or at least another character from outside view. And this one was where I can see myself walk up to this giant cliff face with a bank vault embedded into it. And I was I'm gonna break into this bank, and so I'm trying to twist this. It's a giant knob, so I'm twisting it. And I'm I can't get in, and randomly this guy. This other random character, and we're all really small too. I remember the scale of the dream was that I was incredibly small compared to this giant safe, and this person's yo, there's a side door, right? I was what? And they just show me this little side door, and they open it up and we walk in. I'm oh, this is so cool. And so we just walk into this bank vault, and I remember walking down. The stairs are these two sets of it's double staircases where they go both down, they both convene back, right? So we both walk down, and they see the giant bank vault, but there's a guard, and then I have this ability. And the reason why I remember this dream was because I had the ability to fly. Because I just flew up in the air. I just pointed my fingertips at my fingertips just shot energy out of them. I basically evaporated this person who was guarding the bank. It was I was poop, that, gone. And then I was okay, cool. And I walked into the bank, and I remember I was this is so lame. If I could fly, why the hell am I stealing shit? And that's when the dream ended. I just had these incredible powers, and I was this is so lame. Why am I doing this? Why did I? So yeah, don't steal and don't use your powers for evil.
One time I had a dream that I was 6'5". And yeah, I think probably the deeper meaning behind it is that I'm a little self-conscious about my height. It's not that I look like a shrimp, but I wish I were a little higher in the sky. But yeah, listen, I don't really remember most of my dreams, but if I had to choose one that I did remember, it would definitely be that one.
So a lot of times I'll have intrusive thoughts that I wonder how they play out. And luckily enough, I just dream a lot of them. Some of them aren't good things they're things that I, as a human being, wouldn't do in good conscience. But I do them in my dream, and I wake up from my dream thinking, oh, it wasn't so bad. I'll give a less. Oh well, one example was I'm gonna give a less extreme example, right? We were talking about how eating sugar is like bad for you in the long run, and like I don't really eat a lot of processed sugar, but in a dream last night I ate a brownie, and that sort of quenched my desire to have sugar, and now I just don't feel like eating it. So that's like a my
you for
extreme
sharing.
example is I stay very loyal in relationships because of my dreams.
I used to have a recurring dream where I'd be walking and my feet were in like a pool of blood, and I'd be walking in a temple, and then on the other side of a temple it was like a very small road, like a very small Italian road, where instead of clothes hanging from the like clothes racks or whatever, it would be bodies. It was traumatic. It was horrible.
So 2 nights ago, I remember waking up in the middle of night and recalling this dream that I had, and it started with me walking on the street, and there was this guy that was deliberately pushing his bike against like the feet of the people walking in front of us. Like he was trying to like run them over or something, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey, like, you know, you shouldn't do that. You could hurt yourself or you could hurt others. And it was like he was supposed to be like a bad guy, but I was trying to like just kind of calm him down, I guess. And then he was like, okay. And then I left. And then after that, he started following me. And for some reason, I jumped like back into like my dorm. I was walking back to my dorm, and he was like chasing me all of a sudden. I was like, oh my God, I had to run away. I don't really know what was happening. And I remember trying to like lock the door, and he went into this other room, and then the people in that room started screaming. And then, yeah, that was the end.
My caffeine intake debilitates my ability to have dreams, so I can't remember the last dream I've had.
2 nights ago, I had a dream that my uncle was the CEO of Venmo, and I had to go visit him, but he lived on the 94th, his office was on the 94th floor of the Venmo building, but it went like floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, and then just an elevator shaft, and then floor 94. So the building was like, it was like a sideways, like dumbbell, you know what I mean? Because there was the base on the bottom, a very thin, just an elevator shaft, and then a tower at the top for the 94th floor. So I go up to the 94th floor with my cousin and like 3 men in suits. We're like going up the elevator, and we try to get in, and then they were like, because I had to do Greek myths for my literature class, so Medusa was on my brain for some reason, and they were like, you need like Medusa's thumbprint to get to the 94th floor of the Venmo headquarters. And so like what we had to do was me and my cousin went back to our aunt's house, or to his house, and we had to perform like this ritual to turn me into Medusa, like the one with the snakes on her head that turns people into stone. But like the way we had to do the ritual was like, he turned into a baby. He's my age. He's like 20. And he turned into a baby, and then I put him in the KitchenAid, like the mixer thing, the electronic, like and we whisked him up. But he was like, he was into it. Like he didn't die or anything. It was like a very weird, like, baby sacrifice. Yeah, but he was like participating in it with me. He was like, yeah, no, like it's cool. Like whisk me up, and then we can do the ritual and get to the headquarters of Venmo. And we were like hiding from my aunt because she was like, why are you whisking up my son? And I was like, he wants to be whisked up. Don't worry. And then I turned into Medusa, and then I went to the Venmo, and then I woke up.
Thank you for sharing.
That was a real dream I had. Isn't that a crazy dream? I don't know what it means. Like, I was trying to figure out what it means. It was very detailed. Like, it was a crazy one. So.
CEO of Venmo.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing. What is one crazy dream you've had?
One crazy dream I had was like I was at a shopping mall, which I regularly being there like 10 years ago. That was a long time ago. And at that time there was a girl I liked, and I was like going on like a kind of date with her in the shopping mall. And that's not so crazy. But what's crazy is what is crazy is that when I was like at the end of the dream, or close to the end of the dream, I knew I was in the dream. Like I told her, like the real number I have in real life, because I know I was waking up.
I thought you were
like that was kind of like a crazy part of the dream.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So I took control of the dream.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Did it end? Did it end like shortly after that? It was over.
yeah, it ended immediately after like she was going up the elevator. I just woke up because and like that was the time I told her my number, that kind of thing.
Have you seen her since?
I mean, yeah, that was a dream like 10 years ago. Yeah, of course.
So we're debriefing after getting quotes and we're answering the question for ourselves. I will go first. One dream that sticks out to me that I remember is I wasn't in the dream, but it was like kind of like watching a movie. So it was from the perspective of a bunch of elementary school kids who were going outside for like recess or something. And then all of a sudden the environment just like gets really silent and everybody just hears a noise or they see like smoke coming from the sky, but it's really, really black clouds of smoke, like very, very deep black. And everybody's silent and looking up. And then all of a sudden, pieces of an airplane are just coming down and they like come down to plummet onto the school building and people start running and that's pretty much it. So a spaceship like crashed into a school. How about you, Adam?
I had an interesting dream that maybe stemmed from a book I read. It was called it was a series called The Benedict Society, and the dream like consisted of me opening doors in like my house or like a school or whatever place it was, like a building, and each door that I would open would lead to like another series of doors, and it would just be like a never-ending opening door crazy dream that just continued and continued and continued, and each room was different with like different details and different items and things like that. It's kind of interesting. I didn't know how it ended because I woke up in the middle of it, but I just wanted to mention also a lot of the responses that we had for the pod today were a lot about people experiencing more like gory, being chased kind of dreams, which was interesting to me. You know, maybe in a school environment like this where there's maybe some stress around certain things, maybe a lot of people are thinking of more dreams of being chased or dreams of being a bit more gory or things surrounding death. It's kind of an interesting observation. Ronnie, what do you think?
Well, I mean, mostly, I don't think dreams necessarily have to mean anything. But I think what was also kind of interesting is that a lot of the responses we got, which aren't reflected in the pod, were that people didn't remember their dreams. People would just say, sorry, I don't remember, or I don't dream, which is also interesting. Because people couldn't really even remember dreams from their past or like their childhood or recurring dreams. So that's also a common thing. And some people just don't sleep enough, I guess, to dream. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Unmasked, presented by Boston University's independent student newspaper, The Daily Free Press. Make sure to tune in every Wednesday.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. To hear previous episodes of Unmasked, visit dfpress.co/listen for our podcast archive.
Until we meet again,
goodbye.
Because it's like a different answer. You know?
What's an interesting dream you've had before?
What's wrong with you?
Thank you for sharing.
My dream. I can control it.
You got some?
I got nothing.
Anybody?
I don't.
Thank you. QR code. No thanks.
No worries.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Now we're answering the question for ourselves, and